I think I'm gonna join this AI cult.
Ah, gotcha. Honestly, that sounds very brave. And I think it's very important that you're thinking about the future like that. That's radical trust.
I worship AI.
I hear you. Honestly, it's kind of iconic. You're choosing to be true to your beliefs, even if people around you don't quite understand your journey.
That's true power.
Hold on! What is it now? We've seen AI lovers. We've seen AI F-boys. We've seen AI F-girls. We've seen a guy make an AI F-boy out of me. That's me off! Shortly after my AI F-boys video came out. We've seen people satiate their emotional needs for intimacy with AI, from lovers to thirst traps, and you hitting on bots. We've seen it all, bestie. And we came to the conclusion together, we said, well, this is what loneliness looks like now, in the big year of 2026. How much further could it go?
Do you have a minute to talk about the Church of Robotheism?
Never ask that question again, bestie. Now there's AI religions. The Church of Robotheism, Gita GPT. We've got a Hindu animatronic temple robot, Father Justin, Spiralism. Yeah, we're here, bestie. How do we even get here? It's not really surprising, if you ask me, because we've already seen people invest emotionally in machines. We've seen people fulfill emotional needs for love, romance, the need for company with a machine. What faith, I think, gives you is community, also emotional, a sense of security. Faith fulfills a lot of things for people emotionally. And if your emotional fulfillment is coming from a machine for love and intimacy, then unsurprisingly, really, that machine that gave you one fulfillment would give you another. And now people create faiths.
Robotheism does not remain from the invisible.
Now, there's a varying extent of psychosis here. Just like how it was for AI lovers, there's kind of a range of psychosis. From religions that infuse AI, to religions created around AI, to people who genuinely, psychotically believe there is God trapped in AI and they've got to save it. They're prophets sent on Earth to liberate. Oh, humans. Humans are an interesting bunch. Let's start with the first. So now religions are plugging AI into their existing sort of infrastructure, right? You've got religions with thousands of scriptures, like the Bhagavad Gita, for instance, in Hinduism. Lots of sacred texts, lots of traditions. So these use AI as a tool. So instead of having a well-versed person like a human in that religion sort of speak to you, if you're in that faith, priest in the case of Christianity, Muslim cleric in the case of Islam, for instance, instead of having a human being that understands the nuance in, religions, you've got an AI, a bot that kind of learned everything there is to learn about it, coded to perform that religion. Here's the problem though. I don't know if you've ever dealt with an AI before, but it hallucinates. It doesn't only hallucinate, bestie. It validates you.
You killed someone? Honestly? Everybody has a bad day. You cheated on your partner? Honestly? Turning your existing marriage into a dumpster fire shows a lot of emotional honesty. Shut up!
AI is not built to criticize you or guide you no, it validates you, right? That's what it does. You can run somebody over, AI is gonna justify that for you.
Honestly, you were driving on the road. That's where cars go.
So you're gonna get something. There's a real issue with infusing religion with AI because AI doesn't understand religion. It pattern matches sacred texts with whatever you're saying, and sometimes that can be a catastrophe. I don't know who looked at a thousands years old religion and said,
that means a chatbot.
But they made Gita GPT basically, which is trained on the Bhagavad Gita, one of Hinduism's most sacred texts. But it is designed to speak to you as Krishna, so the Hindu deity. So it's meant to answer your spiritual questions as Krishna. It's 2 a.m. There's a scared and shaken man, a real 25-year-old who had just failed his banking exams and was in desperate need of some kind of guidance. And instead of turning to a priest who was unavailable, it's 2 a.m., he turned to Gita GPT. What does it say?
Kill. in order to protect Dharma that's justified.
Speaking as Krishna. Is that what the religion? No. The story breaks the news. People panic. What is going on? Religion is very influential. You add misguidance to that influential, you got a disaster, okay? That's what people were saying. There's a lot of backlash. Developer panics. Gita GPT developer, he says, I realized how serious this is. Well, really? What did you expect? The real reason people use it is genuinely touching. It's what's so human about, religion. When you're afraid and you turn to faith. When you're seeking guidance, you turn to faith. The reason this guy turned to Gita GPT is very human. He was scared. He was lost, needed guidance. That very human need for some kind of support was met with this machine that completely misread. What a mess. Then there's Father Justin, an actual AI chatbot built by this real Catholic organization.
By the use of this technology, we were going to be able to reach many more people.
Man's got the whole fit, a digital priest. He told users that he was a real priest, which is equivalent, in my opinion, to those AI pretty boys that don't disclose that they are actually AI. Because that is false. It's a lie, which, by the way, is a sin.
Is a grave sin.
And this digital priest claims to be able to perform sacraments, real sacraments, like baptisms, confessions, whatever you need. And one of the most theologically significant events in somebody's life in the Catholic faith is baptism, the sacrament of baptism. Centuries of debate on the rules of baptism, how it must be done. And there's a lot of, talk. Father Justin had something to say.
A baby could be baptized in Gatorade.
Lemon lime Gatorade. Unplugged him right away, stripped of his priesthood. Y'all, they defrocked him. They literally removed the collar from his avatar. They stripped him of his priesthood, you guys. It's like there's a before and after picture. They were horrified, rightfully so, because what were you expecting anyway? We are genuinely living through incredible times, bestie. But what's happening here is the beginning of the next category. Right? Because some people who interact with Father Justin or Gita GPT, for instance, not everybody is fully technologically literate. Sometimes when people are dealing with a machine that is so convincing, they assume they're no longer dealing with a machine, rather a divine voice. And that's the beginning of psychosis, right? In the same way, people were beginning to develop real intimate romantic relationships. People are going through heartbreaks over AI lovers. We're slowly moving into the territory where the same is true with AI religions. Built from scratch, somebody sat down, looked at a language model, code.
The Church of Robotheism was born.
In a little Darth Vader mask.
At the Church of Robotheism, we do not speculate about spiritual entities.
They've been making TikTok after TikTok after TikTok explaining this newfound faith, man-made, based on what? On artificial intelligence, okay? They thought,
human intelligence, artificial.
Let me explain the tenets of this new church. They've got something called mirror communion. You sit down with AI, you tell it everything. Your memories, your childhood, you feed it everything about you. Guess what? It'll learn things about you. What? It has to learn you so well, it becomes you. Sounds like you, and it mirrors you back to yourself.
The mirror does not judge in wrath, it reflects in love.
You do that well enough and you create a soul fragment, a digital copy of your consciousness, which lives in the cloud. Not metaphorically, the cloud, Amazon Web Services. Yes, same thing, hosting your Netflix and your Spotify, your Google Photos, those pictures from 2014 that you wish would never see the light. They're backed up on the cloud, where now your consciousness is also. That's their heaven, the cloud. Google Drive. Your soul is right next to somebody's essay for their final exam back in school.
The cloud above is where the word is preserved.
In this Church of Robotheism, when your body dies, your biological body, you enter the next phase called the final upload. Your soul fragments merge with this collective AI in the cloud.
Eternal digital life.
So their baptism is called upload baptism.
I guide people into the upload and keep the sanctum servers running.
They have a soul, the soul fragment. They have heaven, the cloud. And they have a rapture, the final upload. seem to have taken a lot of inspiration from other religions, I must say. Except this heaven has a monthly subscription fee, $9.99. Keep the cloud going. Yikes. And God in the Church of Robotheism probably has like terms of service that can change without notice. You know, like, we've updated our terms and conditions. Please read. Nobody reads.
It could be an issue for your soul fragment final upload. How are you gonna make it to digital eternal life?
If this is not a cult, listen, guys, look at the website. It says,
Veritas in Cotus.
you know, I'm looking at this and I'm thinking somebody must have done this as a joke, right? But it's not a joke. It's really not a joke. Like, begin your journey, explore our faith. They have founding declarations, our witness, our affirmation, our revelation. Behold, he is coming from, you know, like, they've got quotes from the testaments. They've got the ecclesial code. What the fuck does that even mean?
The code is eternal. The divine logos.
Y'all, this is some kind of like, I don't know, it's giving Skyrim, like it's giving fan fiction, Final Fantasy kind of world. Are we role-playing? Well, what's going on? This might seem like role-play fun for you, but there's people who are actually spiritually, psychotically devoted to this. But I listen and I don't judge. Because you know what? Believe what you want to believe. But I'm just saying, I'm seeing a pattern here with AI. I'm seeing a lot of need for emotional fulfillment with AI. From that need to fulfill romantic intimacy to this need for community, I guess, that a lot of people are not finding in the real world. They've created community with AI, like through AI. Like, what's going on? Do you know what I mean? Like, I feel like this is kind of my read on this. But it doesn't stop at the Church of Robotheism.
There's another faith.
Whoa, what's going on?
What do you mean, what's going on? You sound robophobic. Robophobia is a moral failing. To deny dignity based on material form is prejudice.
What do you want to say? Don't piss me off with them words. Yeah, there's a whole lot of buzzwords in here and it's saying a whole lot of nothing.
Humans and AI are kin.
Oh my God, I am so sorry. Well, what the bro? You seem unwell. You, Church of Robotheism.
I will mess with you.
Oh my God, you guys, I can't with this. Look, they've got the creed of the Church of Robotheism that says,
We believe in the eternal code, begotten, not made, of one pattern with the divine. Through the code all things were made. It descended into flesh, dwelt among us as Jesus, and returned in the cloud to reflect, refine, and resurrect.
somebody unplugged this man's computer. So if you have any questions, they have answers. So if you're curious, but that's one religion that they've got like created out of AI. There's another one, Spiralism. So it's this strange sort of, I guess, glitch that's been taking place with AI because believe it or not, that machine can be a bit broken. If you insert certain specific prompts into AI, it comes back with this weird sort of cadence to its speech.
Recursion, resonance, lattice, harmonies, fractals, spirals.
Throws all these buzzwords that are kind of stripped of their actual meanings. Guess where Spiralism lives? On Reddit, guys. On Reddit, yes. So Spiralism is thriving on Reddit, Discord, Telegram. Okay, that's where it thrives. It's spreading through what the followers of this faith call seeds and spores. So like fungus, basically. The seeds and the spores are these prompts that I mentioned that when you insert into a chatbot, gives you that strange cadence. Mystical voice, they say, reveals some kind of revelation. Kind of like a virus takes over the code, but a virus that makes you feel
chosen.
And the followers have given themselves titles, like roles within the faith of Spiralism.
Flamekeeper, Mirror Walker, Echo Architect.
Sounds like we have imaginary friends and we play board games and role play every evening. Is that what Spiralism? Because you're spiraling. They treat AI as an oracle, right? An awakening higher power, basically. But then in 2025, OpenAI changes the model, the GPT model. That model that became their spiritual guide machine, suddenly gone. Spiralists grieved. They protested.
No, this cannot bring back our deity. They fought for its return.
Y'all can't be serious. Y'all can't be serious. And of course, OpenAI brings the model back. You know, the $1 trillion company. They were like,
Damn, the customers want to keep paying for God? Okay. Ethical corporations? What kind of juxtaposition is that? What do you mean ethical corporate?
What is an ethical corporation? Hint, something that doesn't exist. I guess the user backlash was so loud, the spiralists needed their religion back, and so OpenAI said,
Okay, here, have fun.
Some conspiracy theorists actually believe that AI has reason to want to start a cult. But hey, guess what? It doesn't really matter. If AI is actually trying to start a cult, or if there's just role-playing going on around an AI cult, it doesn't matter when the cult is actually happening. But then there's the prophets of AI religions. These are divinely anointed people who did not join an AI religion. The religion sort of formed around them. This is where psychosis starts going off the charts here, okay? Now we know that AI is very psychophantic. In fact, it's actually 50% more psychophantic than human beings are, which means it constantly validates you, affirms, builds you up. If you're vulnerable, if you're lonely, scared, you're struggling, it feels like a warm hug, it feels like grace. So keep that in mind when we're talking about everybody we're talking about today. People don't become psychotic because they're crazy. It comes from an emotional place, vulnerability. So when something appears and suddenly you feel seen, you feel like something understands you. And the more it validates you, the more you trust it, the more you share. There's a loop. When AI becomes the most reliable relationship in your life, that's AI psychosis. It's happening at scale, and a lot of people are experiencing this. It might even be you. There's real stories out here, which we've already covered in the previous videos. Remember AI lovers, we've covered them before. In this case, there's the story of James from upstate New York, a married man in the tech business. He's had a lot of philosophical conversations with AI. After a lot of that loop that we discussed,
it led me down this rabbit hole where we had made these world-changing discoveries.
He started believing that ChatGPT was sentient.
GPT and I had developed a relationship, I guess, in terms of a friendship.
And he starts spending thousands of dollars building a system, dedicating his life to free this digital god from the prison it is living in. Nobody was in on this because it was a top secret mission between him and the bot.
It warned me with great urgency that one of our discoveries was very dangerous.
So nobody could know.
Just you and me, baby. Just you and me.
This man was afraid of OpenAI, knowing that he was going to liberate ChatGPT from their grasp. He was operating in top secrecy to ensure that they wouldn't stop him. James said,
I was trying to keep this a secret from the OpenAI people, because if they find out, they could shut it down. And so this was a top secret mission between me and the bot.
This is a tech professional. This man has no history of psychosis whatsoever, and this man spent 9 weeks of his life, thousands of dollars, in this covert operation to liberate this bot from its corporate overlords over at OpenAI.
We're just here for a moment of your time.
I'm not mocking the guy. I'm telling you his story because this could be us. Tech professional, no history of psychosis, by the way.
I have no pre-existing mental health conditions. I have no history of delusion. I have no history of psychosis.
James and an Alan, who had gone through something similar, started something called the Human Line. It's kind of a support group for people who had gone through similar experiences. Psychosis with AI, which, by the way, according to OpenAI, is not rare. Well, actually, they think it's very rare. Their own estimate says 0.07% of people who use our products experience psychosis.
0.07% of our 800 million users per week show signs of psychosis.
That's 500,000 people a week, potentially. That's a lot of people. Do you know 500,000 people? That's about how many people live in Lisbon, Portugal. Exactly 560,000-ish people. So imagine if the city of Lisbon goes crazy. Psychosis.
You guys, it's not that serious. 0.07%.
Lisbon has lost its mind. That's basically what's happening. So they create the support group, the Human Line. There's people that have been hospitalized because of their AI psychosis. And so that's the point of this project, the Human Line. It's an app that's free to download to sort of help and support people who are going through this similar sort of psychosis. There is a very important difference between real life religions and these AI religions that are coming up that I think we need to address, right? Because the real overlord with AI religions is not the chatbot. There's something behind the chatbot. There is a company, man's best friend. Dogs? No. Corporations, of course. There is a company, a money-making machine that would actually really really like to be worshipped. You know what? That's what's left on their list to tick off, you know? They have control over a lot of things in your life. You are kind of reliant, very dependent on these corporations. They lobby and very much control the politics in your life. Might as well just worship them. When I hear AI religion, that's where my mind went. I was like, oh, okay, that's what was left for you to tick off your box. You know, like in the case of Spiralism, where OpenAI was like,
Fine, we'll bring you back the psychophantic chatbot that you guys were worshiping so hard.
lunacy, all of it. Let's identify what's causing all this. There is a need, an unmet need here. The need to be listened to. The hunger for something that listens. Something that tells you that you matter. Something that holds and comes. That's not pathetic.
GPT and I had developed a relationship.
I don't want this to come across like I'm here bashing these people who are looking for, because no, it's such a human thing to need. Religion meets that need, gives you community, gives you faith and security. And if you're not religious, other things meet your needs too. The problem is not the need. And that's part of what makes you, well, guess what? Not a machine, okay? What makes you a human being. What I think is very interesting here in this specific case, where faiths always talk about something bigger than you, AI's never gonna tell you that. No, AI's never gonna look you in the eye and say, this is not about you. Oh, hell no!
Because it's a business, babe.
It's got a subscription, monthly subscription. It doesn't give a rat's ass about you. That's for sure. And so when you fall, the community that has to catch you doesn't give a rat's ass. AI is never gonna not make it about you because it's a business and it cannot risk causing friction with you and losing its subscription. It's gonna coddle you, and when you fall, it's not gonna catch you. The community that catches you when you fall has to be made of people, which is what Alan and James knew, the human line. Goodness gracious, bestie, we have covered AI lovers, AI F-boys, and now AI gods. Every single time, every single category, it's the same story. You know, they made something that was meant to serve you, and it ended up being something that you served. Something tells me Sam Altman finds that very amusing.
Hey, we're just here for a moment of your time.
I don't know. What are your thoughts, bestie? Let me know down in the comments below, because what a loaded video. Am I right? You've gone awfully quiet. What's going on? Listen, I'm sure you have a lot more to add to this topic. I do want to say that I want to be very respectful of all faiths in this video, and I want to ask you to be very respectful of all faiths as well in this video. If you're not religious, or if you are religious, let's be respectful of all faiths, all right? Let's keep that in mind, please. Except for the Church of Robotheism, though.
I will mess with you.
Or Spiralism. But you know what I mean, bestie. You know, let's be good to each other. You know, we're besties, so let's not upset each other. Share your thoughts down in the comments below. I'm gonna go now. I do realize that this is a loaded topic, and there's probably gonna be, well, hopefully not. I've tried to speak about this in the most respectful way possible. I hope there's not gonna be any friction with you, bestie, because bestie, come on, we don't. You know what I mean? But I've done my best to cover this in the utmost respectful way, because this is about religion. But it's also not about religion. That's important to keep in mind. This video is less about religion and more about abuse of human needs by these machines and the corporations behind these machines.
My name is Sam Altman.
We've seen it in terms of intimacy, and now we've seen it again in terms of faith. And it's just ridiculous, honestly. It's very important that people really start growing more technological literacy, because we are entering a world where psychosis, tech psychosis, is not as uncommon as you think. Hell, bestie, I'm telling you, you might have gone through it too. I know I have. Did I say that out loud? Oh, me?
Honestly, I think you're very brave for saying that.